If you're a man over 50, it's almost guaranteed, and it's a very high likelihood, that your emotional development was arrested in your childhood by people, your parents, and they would do things like boys don't cry, boys don't do this, boys don't feel sad, little boys shouldn't hold each other's hands, little boys should not hold dolls or have stuffed animals, and all of that. And the impact on that is extremely serious to your emotional development. I cannot tell you how many older men I meet, I'm speaking men over 50, and they're respectful and they're kind, and they want to know how they can please me and this and that, but it's coming from their head. They're not embodied emotionally. They're not emotionally attuned like the younger guys, and that's why they do very awkward things in bed. One thing that they'll do that a younger guy has never done, just to give you an example, like say I'm doing say I'm in a 69 type of position, or just turned around, and then they'll want to touch my pussy and they'll poke my pussy. Like, why are you doing that? They don't know. It doesn't feel good. You're in your 50s, sir. You're in your 60s. You're in your 70s. Why are you poking my pussy? That does not feel good, but they don't know. It's been very rare in all the years I've been with men of different ages. It's extremely rare that a guy over 50 has known what to do in bed. They're rare. And I attribute this, the reason I'm making this video now is it's all kind of gelling with me, because I've had guys who have never gone down on a woman, an 18-year-old and a 20-year-old, first time oral on me, giving me an orgasm. It's not about learning techniques and how to move your tongue and all this. It's about tuning into the woman. Because, see, the guys that have not been emotionally damaged by their parents, as most of you over 50 have been emotionally damaged by your parents, and as I have been working on my own stuff, okay, I'm not blaming you, but I have to live, you and the women have to live with the consequences of this. You guys have got to fix this, because it's very bad having sex with you guys. Because you do weird things and pokey things. No wonder your wives don't want to fuck you. I don't even want to fuck you. Even though you want to pay me as your sugar daddy, I don't even want to fuck you. Okay? It's not fun. And I haven't wanted to make this video before, but I'm at the point where I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I'm just going to say the truth. And you guys need to hear this. The men that are good in bed, they tune into the person. See, when I'm talking to someone, I'm looking at their face, I'm scanning. I can tell when you don't want to talk, when you want to talk. I can tell how you're responding to my touch. And these guys are respectful. They listen to me talk. They can tell all the social cues, but they're emotionally tuned off from the physical touch, because they had to shut it down as kids. They were told to shut it down. And a man can tell if a woman likes his touch by how she responds, except the men who've had it numbed out of them, shamed out of them, punished out of them. And I'm just wondering how pervasive this is. If you're married to a guy over 50, do you love the sex? And I can tell you that 99% of the time I'm not going to like it. Now, that doesn't mean younger guys are good in bed. If they watch a lot of porn, they're also not good. Emotional attunement is very important in relationships and in sex. And I tell you, some of the best sex I've ever had have been guys 20s, 30s, and 40s who are like in touch with their sexuality, in command of their body. They're really calm. They know how to enjoy me. They know how to enjoy me. They know what feels good because they're tuned in. When I grew up in the 60s, I was also raised at a time when no one cared how kids felt. Kids were to be seen and not heard. My parents were good. I mean, I think I was hit once or twice. My parents loved me. But there was there was not that much talk around emotions, and it was mostly about how are other people going to feel, do what the teachers say, do what the parents say. And what I had to learn in the last few years, what I had to work on is to trust my feelings. Because I would always think, what's wrong with me for not liking this? What's wrong with me for not liking that? Like questioning my feelings. That's another sign of having not been raised with having, having my feelings be acknowledged. Anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. I really think that if you're a man over 50 and you were not able as a child to play with stuffed animals, hold your little friend's hands, cry when your friend didn't want to play with you, if you were punished for any of that, if you were told boys don't cry, boys don't feel, boys must be strong, and that means you shut down a lot of who you are. You can reawaken that through some therapy. I don't offer that. I'm not selling you anything. You can do your own research on trauma therapy, childhood emotional neglect, and that will go a long way in helping you to enjoy your life more. When you're not cut off from your emotions, you can learn to trust your emotions. It's a big disservice that the world has done to these men of that time. But on the other hand, there were a lot of men that were, also very abusive. There's a video I'm getting ready to watch about how women in India are treated. Very bad. We're talking patriarchy. You watch this. When I watch this, I'm going to realize how women all over the world were treated and why we needed feminism. Female babies were killed because who wants a girl? Women were the property of men. They weren't allowed to have money or have a car or go anywhere without their husbands. They could be hit, they could be abused, everything. They could never complain, they could never leave, they weren't allowed to make their own money. And then older Indian women are just left to die in the streets because no one cares about women. Like, they're very devalued as chattel, as property. And that's why the feminist movement is good, but to give women equal rights, financial rights. And because of that, I don't have to put up with bad sex. I can tell guys, why are you doing that? They don't like it, but you should know better. You're in your 50s. Don't poke the pussy. There's other basic stuff they do, which is like so bad, like rubbing the inside pink tissue when it's dry. Like, that doesn't feel good. You should know this. But they don't, because they're not tuning in. And that because that part of them has been annihilated in childhood, arrested development. But you can wake that up. I was married to a guy like that. I'm saying, like, everybody over 50 has this. I had a lot of it myself. I've been working on it. So that's what I have to say. By the way, I have known women who are like, oh my God, this guy is so great in bed, even though the guy is very bad in bed, because I'm telling you objectively. But what happens, if a woman is in love with a guy, she will like fucking him, even if he's bad in bed. But I don't know how many years she will like fucking him, because once the in-love feeling wears off, she's stuck with the bad sex. Although some people are just sexually compatible. I don't know. I've had some very bad sex with men who claim that they had an unbelievable sex life in their marriage. Unbelievably good. And I'm like, I don't get it, because you suck in bed. You don't know how to touch me. It's all about you. It's not good. But now I will tell you, men in their 20s and 30s and 40s are so good in bed. Another thing I want to say, these older men, if they're fatter than pigs and they haven't taken care of their health, now they're on all these medications, they have clogged arteries, and their dicks don't get hard. It's useless to me when you have a soft dick. I'm just going to come out and say it. I haven't wanted to say it before. I've been called for dick shaming, or this could be bad for people who might want to be a sugar daddy or something, but I don't care. I'm not responsible for your limp dick. Don't bring that to me. I'm not going to shame a guy for having an occasional erectile dysfunction, but if it's from your bad eating or your medications for your diabetes, your high blood pressure, your urinary incontinence, your prostate issues, your depression, your anxiety, and now you're bringing that to me. Just heal your stuff, heal your trauma. Another thing I want to say, and I know I sound mad, but I am, like, guys are not taking responsibility for their health, and they're bringing that to the women. And now we got to deal with their limp dicks, their fatness, and their emotional unhealth. This is why women want to be single, I'm telling you. A lot of these women are not divorcing their husbands, but they're not fucking them either. And I'm telling you why. If you're fat, this is for fat guys of all ages, you lay there in bed like a log. You're boring. The woman has to do all the work, and it's a turnoff. You just lay there in bed because you're too fat to move. You don't even have the upper body strength to hold yourself up in a missionary position or to thrust. You don't even have the pelvic strength to thrust. You got to have the woman fuck you. And if you're fat, thank God I'm in good shape because I figured out how to do it, but it's not easy. And then when they're fat, you got 2 inches of their penis hidden in the pubic fat or more. Sometimes there's only a couple inches sticking out. You can't even get it in. Okay, I have waited 8 years to put this out here, and I'm fucking saying it now. I don't give a shit. Because I've been sick. I don't give a shit. I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say it. You suck in bed when you're fat. But these guys apparently find women who like them. So, it's just my take. If you can't see your penis when you look down because your belly's in the way, your belly's going to be in the way for the fucking. Because I'm riding you and I want to kiss you. I can't. Your belly's in the way. I got to cover all the surface area of your belly. There's no way I can kiss you. And you can't fuck me because you're too fat. Now, I'm going to tell you something, though, about the fat guys. People who overeat are eating their childhood trauma. There's no sense in going to the gym, changing your food. Nothing is going to overcome. You gotta get into some big time therapy, because otherwise your gains at the gym will just be temporary and they will not bring you real joy. The real issue is you're eating your trauma. A lot of kids were abused and neglected horribly. I am fortunate that my parents were just annoying at best. And I had the freedom to be like, I know these people love me, but sometimes they really suck and I can't wait to move out. And I think that's a healthy attitude. Okay? Because I don't have traumas that make me do all this. I mean, I didn't have like the perfect childhood. My emotions weren't perfectly validated or whatever, so I can do that now. But I'm just here to tell you that you bring all that trauma into a relationship, grandiosity, fatness, limp dicks, emotional unattunement, and the sex is not good. The only reason I would ever the main thing of a relationship is the sex. Otherwise, we can just be fucking roommates. If sex isn't the main reason you get into a relationship, what is it? You want some guy to pay your bills? It's sex. Let's be honest. It should be good. And there are a lot of women who've never had good sex. I have someone in my family who said, I hate sex. I wish there was no such thing as sex. Okay? That's what she said. That to me tells me that her husband is sexually neglectful. She said that. He doesn't kiss. Or she was sexually abused. She thinks it's okay to put up with that. If you do not like sex, to me, that tells me it's a very high likelihood you were sexually abused, or you're a people pleaser, married to a guy who is emotionally not attuned, and you're just putting up with very bad touch, like the poking the pussy touch. Like, don't do that. They're doing that because the wives are not saying anything. That's why they're doing it. Because the wives were also brought up to be good Christian girls who are submissive and don't complain and who don't speak up. And that's why I think most marriages, people are really miserable. Maybe they're happy once they stop having sex because the woman's like, finally, stop not poking me anymore. And then they can get along and play cards and play golf and travel. So those are my thoughts. Like someone like me who is like emotionally healthy, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of growth I could do. But for the purposes of me in my life, it's good enough. Women like me, we expect good sex. And good sex is not about positions or penis size or anything like that. It's about emotional attunement, being present, and owning your masculine strength. I can't wait to be dominated by a guy who knows what he's doing in bed, who knows how to enjoy my body. And those are the most memorable sex appointments I've ever had. A lot of them were guys I met on Tinder after my divorce, when I was like trying to explore my sexuality. I call them sex dates because, I mean, I just met them for the purpose of hooking up. And then I had my sugar daddies. I call them appointments because they're not dates. A date to me is a guy I go out with. I never fucked a guy I went on a date with. I haven't. But that's what I wanted to say. And just putting it out there. Truth bombs, guys. Truth bombs. You want to know how to be better in bed? You need to be emotionally attuned. You gotta not ask the woman, what can I do to please you? Like, don't ask stupid questions. You should know what to do. You should listen to her body, enjoy her body, and be emotionally attuned. That's what you have to do. Don't be fat. There are guys in their 70s who have hard cocks. I have been with many men in their 70s, hard cocks. They can fuck a long time. A lot of them have trouble coming, though, from intercourse. They're a little desensitized once they're in their 70s, but they will usually need to masturbate to come. Like a hand job usually is what they'll need to release. But they can still get hard. And these are guys that eat very well. They eat clean, these guys. And there are a lot of them. Think of quite a few in their mid-70s. So don't give me that excuse that it's your age. It's not your age. It's you. I'm not even going to sugarcoat this at all. Because I'm tired of, caretaking these guys who don't take care of themselves. So don't bring me your limp dick. Your dick is only limp unless you had an injury where someone kicked you and damaged it. It's on you that it's limp. Because you're eating crap food, you haven't healed your trauma, and all that stuff, all that sluggishness, and all that trauma you're bringing into your relationships, even when there's no sex happening. And we women who are healed and make our own money, we don't really want to deal with that. And we won't. So that's all I want to say in this video. I'm having fun finally being honest. You know what made me get so courageous to be honest? Because while I was sick, I was watching all these because I've been watching so many manosphere type videos where I've seen these bitchy women, so I've been trying to be very gentle with men. But then I was watching more of these women videos, these very kind women talking about how men had taken advantage of them and used them and all this. And I'm like, yeah, I want to take more the side of the women and speak from the woman's point of view, how I really feel, without being so worried I'm going to hurt some guy's feelings. Maybe I should hurt your feelings. A lot of you guys need a truth bomb. Probably not the guys watching my video, but some of you watching my video may need a truth bomb. If you ever touch a pussy like this and poke it, that's not good. When you're going down on a woman, if you go right for the glands or for clit, that's loser. That's bad. That's the glans of the clitoris is the same tissue as the frenulum on your penis. What if a woman never stroked your penis, never licked the head, never sucked on the head, but just rubbed the frenulum? That's you rubbing on the glans of the clit. It's so asinine, ridiculous, annoying, moron behavior of treating a pussy. Like, it's just bad, you know? And today I'm just like so tired of having to teach men constantly that the clitoris is 4 inches long and mostly internal. Oh, I didn't know that. I'm like, don't touch the pink part until I tell you. They want to go right to the pink part. You're being a moron right now, but I can't tell them that because I don't want to hurt the guy's feelings. You know, when I'm one-on-one with the guy, I don't want to hurt his feelings. People are very vulnerable. They're naked, you know, they want some affection, they want some healing. But inside I'm thinking you're doing it all wrong. Like, no. You know, I can't tell them that way. The way I really feel is like, what the fuck are you doing? That feels bad. You should know this. You're in your 50s, you're in your 60s, you're in your 70s. But it's your parents' fault, because if you were raised without being emotionally cut off, you would automatically be able to tell what a woman likes. You would be more in tune with your sensuality. And a lot of men, unfortunately, have been cut off from their sensuality. And then we have the men that were neglected or abused, like this Christian Keys, who just came out saying that he was sexually abused by a billionaire. He wouldn't give the name, and I thought, well, that's probably because he mentioned in his original video that there was an NDA. You know, he had waited for the statute of limitations to expire so no one could say he was going after the money. He was thinking of going to the police. If he told us who it would break our hearts. He seemed like he was like so protective of us and of this person. But I will say from the very beginning, I thought he had a very weak, limp energy, and now I know why, because he was abused as a child. He's still filled with trauma. He's very filled with trauma, and because he's filled with trauma and was abused as a child, his stepmom or adoptive mom, foster mom made him run naked through the rain. What a fucking bitch. You know, and then people like that don't have good boundaries. I have really fucking good boundaries. No one's going to mess with me. But they mess with him because he was messed with as a child. So he's very vulnerable. People who were abused as kids get abused as adults. They don't know how to put up good boundaries. They question themselves. They try to protect the perpetrator. You know, they're afraid of speaking up. But I'm like, I don't give a shit. I'm just going to speak up. There's a lot of abuse, and these abused people will get abused again as adults. These abused men will be abused again as adults, like Johnny Depp, abused by his mom, abused by women. Or they will turn to food, or they will turn to alcohol, like Matthew Perry, lifelong drug addict. Probably never healed his childhood trauma. I guarantee you that. Whatever happened there, he didn't heal it. You know, but just because you didn't heal, it's not my responsibility to give you comfort and deal with your trauma. I don't want to. I'm not here for it. I'm here for the men who want to enjoy me. I'm here for that. I'm here for the men who want to enjoy me. I'm laying out some pretty big truth bombs here. And I'm going to upload this video now anyway. Some harsh facts for the men. I'm going to call this harsh facts for the men. Truth bombs for the men. Don't bring me your limp dick. And fattiness. And emotional trauma. I'm not here for it. I don't even want that from my clients. No thanks.